Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and it's Women's History Month, and I'm here today to talk to you about the Lizzie McGuire movie. It came out in 2003, around the time the second season of the Lizzie McGuire television show was being filmed. The television show lasted from 2001 to 2004, and it was a huge hit. It basically is what started the whole Disney female-led renaissance. Because before then they were just doing family shows, but when Lizzie McGuire came out, Lizzie McGuire had the Harry Potter effect. The effect of parents and other people assumed she was real because kids kept talking about her so much that people thought she was real, similar to Harry Potter. But no, she was a fictional television character. And she was on one of Disney's best television, or Disney Channel's best television shows back in the day. I remember watching it, I remember loving it. And but I never saw the movie until last month because actually kind of forgot about it. Like I knew that it was a movie, but I just never bothered to watch it. And I knew they went to Italy and stuff like that, and the actress from Mad TV was in it, but I just always forgot about it. And when the movie came out, of course, it exploded because fans loved it. It came out when the show was still on, so people were still hyped for it. However, I've noticed a lot of people lately I've seen who loved the movie in the past don't think it's as great as it used to be when they first watched it. Because they watched it with super fan eyes and stuff like that. But now, as time has passed, they realize something. The plot really don't make a lot of sense, and it's kind of pointless. Don't get me wrong, it's a good movie and everything, and you will have fun watching it. But the problem is, the movie just centers around Lizzie McGuire, Hilary Duff, and the rest of the cast from the television show is there, but they don't do nothing whatsoever. And it's just like, what was the point in giving them a free trip to Italy for no reason and stuff? But did I mention the plot don't make no sense? So, pretty much, after Liz McGuire ended in 2004, ABC wanted to pick up the series to have Lizzie and her friends go to high school. But there was a complication. Disney and Hilary Duff and her mom could not get along. The rumor has always been that Hilary's mom wanted more money for Hilary, which makes sense. She helped put Disney Channel on the map, and what changed it to have Hannah Montana, The Wizards of Waverly Place, That's So Raven, and so on and so on. But, Disney's cheap and they don't want to give nobody no money. So Disney said, see ya. And so then the movie came out, and then the movie was supposed to have a sequel. But once again, the rumor has it is that Hilary's mom wanted more money. So Disney Channel said later. And after that, Hilary Duff went on to have a movie and music career. Now, I personally never seen none of her movies, but I have seen her in a guest appearance in Community, which I didn't like. But then I saw her in Younger, which she did a really good job in. And of course she was in How I Met Your Father, which I think only lasted a season or two. And so I've always loved her acting. When she was in Lizzie McGuire and Younger and stuff like that. She's always been a good actress. She's very captivating. Her singing career, however, I've never been a fan of. I've never liked her singing. And not only that, but there's only one song of hers I've ever liked, when she was on So You Think You Can Dance as the musical guest. That's the only time I've liked her singing. So when her music career ended, I was happy because she went back to acting. And of course, we all know what happened a couple of years ago. There was supposed to be a a Lizzie McGuire revival series in her adult age on Disney Plus. But once again, there was a complication. Instead of it being Hilary's mom, this time it was Hilary. She wanted the show to be more adult and somewhat raunchy because, the people who watched this show was kids and teenagers, and now they're adults. Disney was all like, look, man, we got an image. We ain't gonna have you clickety clacking it in the movie and drinking and all this other crap. So they couldn't come to an agreement, and the revival got shelved. But at least we got that iCarly revival where she was drinking and talking about clickety clacking it. So, three opportunities all squandered, all because of the Duffs. Oy. But then there was supposed to be a spin-off of Lizzie McGuire back in the early 2000s. I think around 2004 or 5. And it was supposed to star Selena Gomez, of all people, playing the sister of Miranda and her Latino family. But Disney Channel decided to say, we'd rather have Hannah Montana with Billy Ray Cyrus and Miley Cyrus. And we all know what happened after that. Hannah Montana was a huge hit. I personally don't like that show. And Miley Cyrus just went and became a wild child. Ugh. Anyways, the Lizzie McGuire movie is very special in the sense that it was Disney Channel's original television show turned into a movie, but it got a theatrical run. That movie and Hannah Montana movie were the only two Disney original shows to ever get the theatrical release. Everybody else got the TV movie route. Personally, Wizards should have gotten the theatrical route, but they didn't. And so, till this day, they are still the only two that ever got the theatrical route. And of course, people love the movies because people love the show. But I'm sure I never seen the Hannah Montana movie because I never liked the show. So I don't know if it's any good or not. I don't know if it still holds up till this day. But I like to think that the Lizzie McGuire movie paved the way for Hannah Montana, because we all know the television show did. Why? Because basically it's Hilary Duff playing two different characters. She's playing Lizzie and she's playing Isabella. Isabella is an Italian pop singer. And so Lizzie pretends to be this pop singer throughout the movie. Do you see the connection to Hannah Montana? Now, like I said before, this movie's fine. Like, it's cute, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty solid. It's not like the greatest movie you'll ever see, but it's like a nice little fun movie, kind of, But the thing is, this movie does have slightly different, like two different tones, because it's like, the TV show was a drama comedy where a little girl pretty much always breaks the rules and goes through everyday life. It's basically like Girl Meets World. You know what I'm saying? Well, not the television show Girl Meets World. I'm just like making a reference to Boy Meets World, but not the actual show Girl Meets World. So it's basically a girl who learns life and a coming of age story where she's always making mistakes. She's always breaking rules, but she always has to learn a lesson. And she has these two best friends, a bully at school, a little brother who is a brat, and two loving parents that are pretty dopey and stuff. But she's kind of like this cool girl who isn't the it girl, And so it's a wacky little comedy drama, humorous, show. And so the movie, of course, is a theatrical movie. It basically feels more like a 2-hour, long episode, as opposed to necessarily like a movie, because the cast don't really do nothing. It's just basically Lizzie who does anything in this movie, and the only thing she does in this movie is just hang out with a boy. That is literally it. That is the plot of the movie. They all, the entire cast goes to Italy. Lizzie falls in love with this dude who uses her, and she just hangs out with him, and that's it. They just have a good time. And then she finds out he's deceiving her, and then she sings at the end of the movie, and that's literally it. That is literally it. That's not a strong plot. It was a waste of characters being in the movie who do absolutely nothing. But when I was talking about like the tone, see, the first couple of minutes of the movie feels like the TV show. It's wacky, it's crazy. After that, everything gets serious with some slight humor in it. And so I wish they would have took out the beginning, because they try to tie in like the wackiness of the show into the movie, but it doesn't mesh well, because it's two completely different tones. But the good thing is everybody still acts the same. That's the great thing about it, because they were still on the show. Some people, it's only like two who voices dipped down for whatever reason when they was in the movie. I'm not sure why it was. I don't mean dip down like, oh, going through puberty or nothing like that. It's just kind of like their voices just didn't translate well from being from TV actors to like movie actors and stuff. But that's the only like thing I heard that was different. Now, of course, Lelaine was not in the movie. Miranda, I don't know the real reason why she wasn't in it. Now, the rumor has it that she was filming Go Wish, the Disney Channel movie, which is why she missed out a lot on season 2. However, there's other rumors that she was dealing with some personal demons and everything. And so I don't know which is real during that time of the filming of this movie. And one thing I want to point out, there was not a single black person in this movie, not a single one, which is odd because there was 2 in the television show. One was a teacher who was recurring, and the other one was a recurring best friend role. Now, Lenny, the best friend who was mute, he was in the show throughout the entire first season, but he started to fade away in the second in favor of, I think Melina, her name was, the mean blonde girl who's friends with Matt. And so she's in this movie, and like she pops in, she pops out and stuff. And so one thing that's also different is like the look and feel of the movie. The movie looks different. It feels different because it's a theatrical movie, so they're using better film for the camera. It's darker lighting for the movie for some reason. The show is very bright, and they're on like a set piece and stuff. But in the movie, they're in real locations, and it's just really dark. Now, as for the McGuire home, I don't know if they brought the set piece. They couldn't have, because why would you bring that all the way to Italy and then bring it all the way back to like America for the television show and stuff? It could get damaged. So I believe they was filming on like a set location in Italy for like the McGuire house, because it just looked different and stuff. Also, the animation of animated Lizzie. Now, for those who probably just came in there thinking it's just a regular movie, they will realize that Lizzie McGuire has a little animated version of herself that basically speaks her mind. It's something that's never been explained in the show. We just accept it for whatever it is. It's basically her inner thoughts. Lizzie is too nice to say mean things, but then here comes her animated version that basically just speaks her mind. It's her inner thoughts and everything. Now, in the show, it blends in really well with the bright lighting. In the movie, not so much. Now, the animation is better in the movie, but it's darker tone, and it feels more like you're watching a cartoon than a real life movie like Who Framed Roger Rabbit or Space Jam. Also, having the animated Lizzie just didn't feel right for the movie. Yeah, I was used to it because I was used to it from the show, but it just didn't feel right for a theatrical movie and stuff like that. Another problem with this movie is that Lizzie doesn't learn no life lessons. In the show, there's always something that she has to learn. Like, there's rules that's set in place. She breaks the rules, and like just like she does in the movie. But in the show, she will learn a life lesson, but in the movie, she just doesn't and everything, which is really disappointing. Also, another thing that's disappointing is her and Gordo. Her and Gordo are best friends, but he secretly likes her and stuff. They kiss at the end of the last episode in the show, and making them like, a couple and everything, or at least a potential couple. In the movie, is nothing like that whatsoever. She's in love with Paulo, this other guy, and he's just doing nothing and everything. Then all of a sudden she finds out that like he covered for her to where he was gonna get kicked out and go back to America. And then at the end of the movie, when she finds out Paulo lied to her, she just kisses Gordo on the lips for no apparent reason. And there was no build up to that. Because she didn't like Gordo no more for whatever reason that wasn't followed up in the movie. They basically just want to give her a new love interest for the movie. And they completely ignored what happened at the end of the television show. So that didn't make no sense to people. Because remember, in the TV show, she's in middle school. But like I said before, it ended in 2004. The movie came out in 2003. And in the movie, she's already graduated from middle school and is on her way to high school. The character personalities are still the same, which is a good thing. They're just slightly tweaked. Ethan Kraft is still stupid, but he's not as dumb and aloof in the head as he is in the show, but he does absolutely nothing in the movie. Kate is mean for the first half of the movie, and she's mean to everybody, not just Lizzie, but she's even mean to Ethan, which is shocking because that's her love interest in the show. But then in the second half of the movie, she's really, really sweet and nice to everybody, which is a nice change because, like, you know, her character was nice twice in the show, and the actress is actually really nice in real life, and people always thought she was mean, but she's actually nice. She's a bit nicer than Hillary, to tell you the truth. Gordo is still the whole, you know, I'm not gonna be some trendy person just to be cool, I'm gonna be me. But he has a very limited role in this movie. The parents and Matt are still there. Matt is still a brat, but then all of a sudden he's all like he misses Lizzie, but it's all just a scheme because, you know, he's just, you know, who he is. And the parents, this one don't make no sense. If the mom would not buy $100 pants for Lizzie to be cool in, why in the world is she buying a round trip for the entire family to go to Italy, all because Lizzie was on a magazine pretending to be a pop singer? Like, that's the part of the movie I just don't understand. So it's like, okay, they graduated middle school, which, when do people start doing that? Anyway, they graduate. It feels pretty much like, you know, a typical Lizzie McGuire episode. She's singing in her room. She trips and falls down. Matt records it because he wants to blackmail her. And so after graduation, they supposed to go on a trip to Italy. But this one don't make no sense. They just graduated middle school. The trip for Italy isn't their middle school trip. It's their high school trip. That just don't make no sense whatsoever. Since when, before you go to high school, when do you go on a big, like, you know, international trip? And the person they go with isn't even a teacher, it's the principal of the high school. That don't make no sense right there. That's something that does not happen. I think her name is Wardemeyer or something like that. Played by Alex Brostein from Mad TV and also Family Guy. And so, like, so they're in Italy and, you know, they're supposed to have a good time and all this other stuff. Now, the family's not in Italy, they're home and everything. And so Lizzie, all of a sudden, she sees this very famous pop singer named Pablo. And Paulo is played by Yanni, I think his name is Gelman or something like that. He's the dude from Pretty Little Liars who played Garrett. He's not even Italian, but he's playing an Italian pop singer. Anyways, they couldn't find not one Italian star while they was in Italy. Come on now. And there's tons of Italian stars in America. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Anyway, so he sees her and he thinks she's Isabella. And he makes up this story talking about how him and Isabella, like, you know, something happened to her. And he needs to sing with her on stage at their concert. And since she looks like him, why don't she be her? At first, she doesn't really want to, but then she does. But it's a problem. How is she going to get out of her trip? Because the principal is really mean and very strict. So she pretends to be sick. throughout the entire movie. And Gordo actually approves this plan, tells her to do it, even though he has a crush on her. And so this is what she does in the entire movie. She just hangs out with Paulo and has a good time. Then she sneaks back into the hotel, pretending to be sick, sneaks out, and over. That's all the plot of the movie. And so he tries to teach her the lyrics of the song and the dance moves. And somehow she knows how to dance professionally all of a sudden. Now, of course, it's a stunt double doing it. Because when they spin around, you can see her face. And so, like, I think they're doing an Argentine tango. No, they're not doing an Argentine tango. It looks like they're doing salsa almost, or tango or something. And it's like, how the heck does Lizzie even know that? So anyways, throughout the movie, Gordo's just wandering around with Ethan and Kate. And of course, he doesn't like both of them. And so he sees that Lizzie is on a magazine. And so at some point in time, Kate figures out what goes on and she helps Lizzie keep sneaking out, which is something she would not do. Anyways, when Matt finds this out in America, he needs to go to Italy because he wants to blackmail Lizzie. It's just a stupid plot for him to want to blackmail her across the country. So the family finds out and they're like, oh, we got to go to Italy and find out what's going on and help our daughter and blah, blah. She's okay. And so, like, when Lizzie's about to get found out, he lies and said, oh, he's the one sneaking out. So the principal lady kicks him out the country and sends him back home. And I'm all like, dude, you're acting like a sucker for Lizzie. She doesn't even like you. She dumped your behind for another guy. And so, like, it's the big concert and everything, and like Gordo doesn't get kicked out, he stays actually. And then when she finds out Gordo's gonna get kicked out, she tries to get him this tries to call the airport and stuff, but then she's unable to get to him. But then there's the big concert. And so, like, at some point in time, Gordo actually finds Isabella, and it's played by Hilary Duff with the brown wig and a fake accent. And so she explains to him what really happened between her and Paulo. She wanted to go solo. He's not a really good singer, and he just wants to embarrass Lizzie on stage. So Gordo has to stop everything along with like the family, and just a weird plot, man. It's just a weird plot. So in a way, they do some trickery with the equipment, and it's Isabella singing for Lizzie while Lizzie is lip singing while Paulo can't sing. Now, the person who's actually singing is Hilary's sister, Haley Duffy, and she's appeared on the show as well. After that, the parents tell her she's grounded. She thanks Gordo for his sacrifice, about to get kicked out the country, and kisses him on the lips when there's no romantic build-up between those two. And then the movie basically just ends and stuff. And that's the movie. And it's just kind of like, that's what they came up with. That's what they came up with for like a theatrical movie. The Even Stevens movie and the Wizards of Waverly Place, that was a TV movie, was way better than this. Now, like I said before, it's not a terrible movie by no means. It's just not great, and the plot don't make no sense. And the cast is there for no apparent reason. Because they don't do nothing. And stuff. So yeah, that's the movie basically in a nutshell, and I'm glad they never got a sequel, because what the heck would they come up with in the second movie? Now, it is cool they went to Italy and everything, and you gotta go big if you're gonna go make a movie, but they could have made the movie more relatable to the show. If I was making this movie, one, I would give the cast something to do. The parents and Matt will show up in the beginning of the movie for the graduation. Then once they go on their trip, that's it. No more parents. Then at some point in time, Kate's going to be mean throughout the entire movie and try to sabotage stuff for Lizzie, causing all this conflict and life lessons learned and all this other stuff. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, well, I'll talk to you later. Bye.